All right.
Am I on?
Hello, everyone. Yep, I can hear you.
Yay.
Welcome to Our Kind of Homesteading. We're your hosts, Sherry.
And Shauna.
And today... Oh, we're really late with this episode, so sorry.
Yeah, sorry we got it out late. Sherry had to go to the doctor's because
Yeah.
she's all pregnant and it's like, I'm having a baby. Not like now, but you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Feet were swollen, headaches, worried about shit that could go wrong. So anyways, that is why this is a couple days late. Very, very sorry. And so one of our listeners, Joy, was reaching out to us. Hi, Joy. And she had requested that we talk about like the vetting portion of homesteading and like how much we do, how much we don't do, when do we call a veterinarian, and all that good stuff.
Which we've talked about a little bit before, like through different episodes, but we've never like had like a whole episode like devoted to it. So here you go. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
Is it vetting?
Yes, vetting.
I don't know.
Are you speaking into the back of your microphone? Oh, no, you're not. The back's right there. Okay, good job. Okay. So I was going to say obviously, but maybe it's not obvious. We do the basics. And in my mind, the basics are injections and shots of any sort. And we do all those because it's really easy now that we know what we're doing, obviously, and we've been doing it for so many years. And I know if you haven't done injections or you're not there yet, it can be a little bit intimidating, but you just need to like practice on a ton of like, you could get like raw chicken pieces. That's how we learned. And so that you can either learn how to do the intramuscular. Well, wash your hands afterwards. You can learn how to do the intramuscular. You can learn how to do the...
I think the intramuscular is better to use an orange because you get more of the feeling of like the muscle, of
it, chicken
like
breast.
chicken breast because it's been like whatever, and you're like,
I guess,
it's not
processed.
So like the chicken breast is
an
good
orange,
for the intravenous because then you can lift up the skin and and actually fill up your syringe with like water or what the fuck ever before you do it.
Yeah, and you can really see and get a feel for it. And then, if you want someone there the first couple of times, you're doing it on an actual live animal, probably a good idea. But once you get the hang of it, it's insanely easy, and you're going to be like, why was I ever calling a vet to do all of these injections? Because it is ridiculously easy. And we always, literally always for years now.
Yeah, and for dogs, cats, like even things that aren't considered like farm animals that you'd call your farm vet out for. We do it on all of them because why would you not?
Yes, exactly.
So like all the puppy shots, if you get a new puppy, piece of cake.
Yep.
And there has been things that like, shit can happen, obviously. Like Sherry's dog, Frodo, she found out after giving him, which was that?
Well, I didn't give it to him. So the only shot you're not going to be able to give your animals, unless your vet is like crazy cool with you, is rabies.
Oh, it was.
You cannot give a rabies vaccine. Like you just can't get a hold of the actual vaccine. But I guess you could if you were a vet, or if you
don't need to listen to this episode.
Tight. Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming you're not listening. So, anyways, he was after getting his rabies vaccine, and he was a little guy, and he's already a little guy, but he was like young, and he like puffed up, his whole face swelled up, and it was like terrifying. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna die, and I gave him Benadryl, and he was okay. So, no more rabies for Frodo. Hopefully, you do not come in contact with a rabid raccoon or skunk anytime soon, Frodo.
Yeah, and he's been fine. He's really old now.
He's one of our OG. He's like he's the oldest dog we have on the property.
Yeah. So like obviously like just like people, like animals can be allergic. You can have allergic reactions.
Yes.
So like dogs can have Benadryl, so we keep Benadryl like on hand for them. We've never really seen an allergic reaction in like a goat. Their shots are pretty basic and stuff like that. And then obviously you want to read everything before you give any kind of shot or dewormer, anything like that. You read everything because there's certain times where you can't give to puppies and kittens and anything younger than even baby goats. They shouldn't get anything until a certain age. Obviously. Is that obvious?
Yeah. Well, I think it's obvious, but it might not be obvious to some. It's like
we always say obviously.
Obviously, dumbass. Where we get it that you don't. If you don't know, you don't know. There was a moment in time we didn't know. So there you go.
It wasn't obvious.
Yeah, it was not obvious to us. But and think about anything really tiny. especially if they're already away from their mom, they're no longer like nursing and getting all that good stuff. Their bodies, their immune systems are still growing along with the rest of their body. So that's how you kind of think of it, right? So, like puppies and kittens, you should not be giving them any kind of flea treatment like orally until they're, I believe it's
even the flea and tick like bath stuff can be harmful.
yeah,
for, like,
yeah,
because
for
that
those
still
younger,
absorbs through their
younger
skin.
animals.
So like you have to be, obviously, if you have like, we had some kittens a few years ago. There are cats now, but they, you know, somebody just had like a shit ton of kittens, and we just went and picked
on my microphone. Oh. Bug. It's attacking me.
bug. We picked up a couple of kittens, and they were covered in fleas, and so it's kind of hard. You just have to kind of give them like, you know, warm baths and pick the fleas off.
Yeah, just
It's
with
really,
water, and you get those flea combs, and you just like pick them off.
You really
because,
can't do anything else.
Yeah.
And even our one cat, Shadow Walker, even when he was older and we tried to put any kind of flea treatment on him, he is highly allergic to it, just like Frodo. So he like started like drooling, and it was just all bad. So he doesn't get flea treatments. But Sherry and I actually, who just asked that question on Instagram? I should have my phone. Where is it? Who asked it? Somebody asked about flea stuff, what we do, and I was telling her.
Oh, I kind of remember, but I mean, I don't remember who, but I do remember that you telling me that someone had asked about that. So, okay, you have to remember with flea stuff, and I consider this part of like vetting animals. Any kind of flea and tick medication or treatment that you give your animals, it is essentially poisonous, because that's how it kills the bugs. So it's not natural. That's why there's a very specific dosage. That's why that says don't use on animals any younger than like 10 weeks old or something like that. So take that into consideration. If you're like, I want to do everything in natural, there's definitely natural ways, but unfortunately, the natural ways aren't really going to work if you have an animal that's completely infested. Like how Shauna got those little baby kittens. Like the only thing she could do was take a freaking flea comb, and it took her forever and days and days and days, and just pick them all off one by one kind of thing. And it's, you know, it's strenuous. It's not like you give them this pill or this chewable and they chew it and then all their fleas die. The reason they're dying is because it's like legit poison. So
yeah, so we try not to use anything like that unless we absolutely have to, unless we're like super infested for whatever reason. Sometimes it happens. But
so in the
it's
summer,
rare.
For us, it's not really rare up where we are, only because I know Caesar goes off the property all the time to like chase away predators, right? He like jumps a fence and he leaves for a bit, comes back. Don't worry, chased it away. I'm back, Mom. So he brings home ticks and he brings home fleas. And once you have a couple fleas, you will very, very shortly have a million
Unless
fleas.
you're like on top
and they're
of
going to
it.
be all over all your animals. So unfortunately, I will resort to using, like right now, I just gave them all Bravecto because, you know, he has it. And this dog gets it. This dog gets it. And, you know, I have 7 fucking dogs. And so really expensive, but it works very, very well. And none of my animals are allergic to it. And like I said, that's just what we do, just because I'm not going to have a flea infestation where I'm in my house and my dogs are in there and sleeping in my bed with me. I mean, Caesar doesn't sleep in bed with me, but the other ones do. And then there's like fleas crawling all over my kids and I, like, never fucking happening. So I will resort to that when I need to.
I really try not to use it like unless I absolutely have to, it's been a while since we've had to use it. Like I think when those kittens brought in the fleas, like we used it on the dogs just
right because they jump. Yeah,
there were so many and they're just everywhere. But we also make a spray. It was Maddie, she on Instagram.
Good job.
She had messaged asking what we do for fleas, and so we make like it's like an essential oil concoction, and it is like I'll have to like write it all down somewhere. I don't know exactly, but it's like I put catnip and peppermint oil and rosemary, I think eucalyptus. I'm probably forgetting some things. Anyways, so you put all in a bottle and you dilute it with water. And some animals can have like an allergy to those as well. So if it's like your first time using it, so I'll spray it on like my mattress and anywhere where the couch where the animals like to lay if we do have fleas. And then I'll spray it on the animals. None of mine have any issues with any of that stuff, but some animals do. So you have to be really careful, especially if you have like birds and stuff. Birds are really
sensitive.
Are really sensitive. But if you just spray it on like a small patch first and see if there's any kind of adverse reaction, wait like a day and then go from there kind of thing. And that usually works for us. And then just giving them just baths with just regular, like a shampoo, I don't even use like a flea and tick shampoo, because even that has like
has the
chemicals
stuff
and stuff like that. So I try not to use that unless I have to. So first we'll do that, and if we still are seeing fleas, then we will and after like baths, and then we spray them after their bath, and then we will resort to using like a flea and tick shampoo if we have to. I try to get like an all natural one. It's all like, whatever. It's super expensive, super fun. And then if that doesn't work, and then we'll go to something like Bravecto if we're still like fleas are everywhere. And I don't know. That's just our path of
See, I don't do the whole like I'm going to bathe all 7 of my dogs just because I do have 7 dogs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. And so when I see more than a couple couple like I'll try some stuff, but then like if they're still like amassing, then like no, Bravecto it is. But but that's what we do for fleas and ticks. Oh, I hate ticks. So gross.
Hey, it's a part of homesteading.
It definitely is. I fucking hate it.
But they really don't like the strong smell. So like spraying, if you're worried even about like ticks and stuff, if you spray that, like they usually are like, get out of here.
Yeah, and it probably repels mice too, by the way. That whole concoction you just said. Yeah. But
it's so hot in here.
It is ridiculously hot.
I need like a fan.
I need a fan. I'm dying. I'm like gonna combust internally.
I know, you look like you are.
Anyways, making this a quick video, people, because I'm gonna die of heat stroke sitting in Jana's office.
Beyond shots, we also deworm our animals ourselves. I don't know who would call a vet for that.
I mean, some people do, because some people just don't. They don't understand. They don't know like what to use, when to use it, how often to use it. So, okay, dependent upon your area, the weather and stuff is going to depend on how often you're going to be worming your animals. And that just goes along with like if it's like hotter where you are, you're going to be worming probably every 6 months. It's good to interchange wormers. Mm-hmm. Don't use the same wormer because it's going to then it won't work after a while. That's just how that goes. It's like taking the same antibiotic over and over again. It's just, I mean, A, it kills your immune system, and then B, it just stops working. So, so interchange wormers, and dependent upon what animal you're worming, just do your research. Goats can use Safeguard is one we use in our goats, and
ivermectin.
Yeah, ivermectin. And then with the chickens, we use the permectin, which is just like a louse powder. And
the apple cider vinegar, we use that in all their waters. That helps like maintain
if you can make sure you're putting the ACV in their water and you're like religious about it, it really does have a crazy effect. Anything natural, it's all about consistency. It's because anything natural, it's not some magic fucking pill. That's the point, right? And that's with humans too. If you can do it consistently, it is going to have the effect you want it to have. And then you won't have to take the nasty poisonous stuff. If you're not consistent with it, or if you don't do it at all, well then, you need the poisonous stuff.
And it's kind of crazy because like we're like a society built on convenience, right? So like when we have a headache, we're like just grab a fucking Tylenol because then it's like gone. Right. You don't want to be like, I'm gonna go make myself some chamomile tea and put some lavender on my wrist and try to relax and like focus my blood flow. You don't want to do that because then it's like or most people don't want to do that, I should say, because it takes time and it takes a lot more energy than just putting a pill in your mouth and swallowing it. It is a lot better for you though.
Yes.
In the long run.
Yes.
But honestly,
but it's a matter of time too.
It's a matter, and like where you're at, like when we're with our kids at their fairs and their performances and stuff. Yeah. Like I, have a bad headache. I don't have my fucking chamomile tea. I can't just go sit down and like meditate for like 20 minutes.
You don't have the time
by myself,
to do anything.
You're just like, okay, I'm fucking taking an ibuprofen and getting the fuck over it. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the convenience is necessary.
Yes, definitely.
Unfortunately.
Definitely.
But even like, I don't know, like I feel like most of the time you do have the time, you just don't want to tell yourself that you do. Does that make sense?
Well, I can see someone that, I don't know, has like, works 9 to 5. Like my husband, when he has a headache, when he's working up in the woods cutting trees, he can't sit down with chamomile tea
No, for sure,
and relax for 20 minutes. Like it just doesn't, it's just not. Aiden, same thing with Aiden. I mean,
I'm just saying, even like people that they get home from work, it's like they don't want to take that. They would rather
yeah. I mean, I think if
because it is easier. You don't want to take the time.
Well, and like you said, our society is like built upon convenience,
those, like,
and
steps.
So I feel like most people will just I'm taking Tylenol because this is what we do. They're not yet practiced.
You know what's cool though is I brainwashed my kids.
Yeah, ditto.
It's and I was like pat myself on the back.
Like our kids just went through like. I don't know what the fuck they had. Some aggressive hand, foot, mouth thing.
Yeah.
It was so fucking weird, right? You think like hand, foot, and mouth is for like itty bitty kids. And if you Google it, it will tell you only 5 and under get this.
No, it says
fucking
like,
wrong.
It says most of the time, like 6 and under, it's like more,
wrong,
whatever.
Wrong.
But like
Shauna's son got it pretty bad. And like, what the fuck is happening?
We're in the middle of like a fair too. So like, obviously we picked it up from something like that. And our kids have been having a crazy amount of performances all over the place. And that's just what our lives have been. But
yes,
it was
exactly.
just like.
And you're going to, the thing with illnesses is we as humans have to live with illnesses, bacteria, viruses. That's just how it is. And so don't stress.
I feel
just
like,
do what you do kind of thing.
Freaking Manuka honey for the win.
Manuka honey for the win, people. So Ronan, we weren't giving it to him because we kind of actually, originally we didn't know what he had.
Yeah,
I'm
and
saying
we're
we as if we parent him together.
We do. We
it's
parent
fine.
all
we
of our kids
so,
together. But
we don't know what he has.
But we
and
should
Shauna's
have
like,
but I should have just
is
started
it COVID? And I was like, I don't
because
think
it just
it's
started
COVID.
the temperature.
I don't think it's COVID.
And
like,
yeah, Sherry's like, I don't think it's COVID, and I was like, it could be, and I was like, I feel like it shouldn't be, but it could be. Like, who knows?
It shouldn't be. I think we've had that plenty.
Yeah, we're good. But like, I should have just started him knowing, because Manuka honey's a really strong antiviral. If you didn't know,
like, and holy shitballs, we saw such a difference. So we didn't give him as much, and we didn't start it early enough. Okay, and then when Shauna's daughter River also came down with it, and then Legend also came down with it, pretty much the same time. We were like,
but they had started
honey.
Manuka honey even before they had symptoms, because
exactly.
So obviously you don't know if someone's gonna get something, but like, whatever, and it's expensive, right?
Oh,
but
it's ridiculously expensive,
but
for a good reason.
We started them on all of the other kids, and they like barely had any symptoms. Like it was
like Legend started showing like the red bumps in his hand and feet, but they never turned into blisters. It was just like very faint little red. You're like, what is all that
I
stuff?
think the worst was just that they both had like a temperature for like 1 day, where Ronan had it for like a couple days.
And Legend's legs, it was such an aggressive form. It was like their legs were hurting really bad in the back. It was such a fucking weird thing. But Legend was like in tears at night. I had to like sit there and rub. I'm laying in an air mattress, 7.5 months pregnant, rubbing my 6-year-old's legs. That's all I did for 2 nights in a row. It was super fun.
Super fun. And, we also are camping.
I'm never camping again, by the way.
You always say that.
I promise you, I'm never. Even
that.
Lorenzo is like, Mom, I'm never camping again. He's like, I am never camping again. I was like, I'm right there with you. Please remind me next time we are like,
no, it won't matter. Next year, we're gonna have to go to some fucking fair that's however far away.
No,
and you're gonna be like, we're camping, and I'm gonna be like, remember? You're gonna be like, no, it's fine. It's gonna be totally different this time because now I have a baby. It should be a lot easier.
I have another needy human. It's gonna be great.
I know, like no,
never doing it again.
No,
I fucking hate it.
You say that every time.
I don't know who likes camping.
Nobody.
If you like camping, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like.
Nobody likes camping.
There's people who like it.
Like the idea of camping is cool.
Okay, I am literally going to internally combust.
Okay.
So figure something out because I am sweating. It's disgusting.
Okay.
I can't sit here.
So the idea of camping is cool. I like being in the wilderness. I like being like campfires.
No, give me the wilderness anytime.
And like sitting with your family and not having like
not
cell
having
phone service.
Yeah, well,
all that is
and being
super,
able to
is amazing.
Like,
I love that part.
Forget the chore part of your home, right?
Yes.
Someone else is dealing with it. You can just relax.
All that is it's the tent. It's the zippers of the tent when you have to pee at night. It's like trying to like beat, the either the bear that you've heard next to your tent or it's Bigfoot to the bathroom and back.
And I'm sorry, but like laying there like terrified you're gonna be eaten by a bear any minute. Like I can't tell you how I was awake, just like on no, it's bad. It was bad. And then I have to get up in the night to pee.
And there was this fox that like literally every night would stand right next to our tent and like do this yell.
You know that scream that fox do? And they sound like some devil. And at first you're like, what the fuck was that? And then
Yeah.
you realize, oh, it was just a fucking fox.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have a fox next to our tent than the bear.
No, I gladly welcome the fox. I was like, you know what? You scream, little buddy. You keep those bear away, okay? Hopefully the bear thinks you're as annoying as I think you are, okay?
And, you know, we're up there, and, like, not to sound all, like, damsel in distress or anything, but we don't. Our husbands are usually with us when we're camping, and they usually bring some firearms. And not
I'm
that
not a
we
damsel
couldn't
in
bring, like, a
distress.
firearm, but, like, I don't know.
That'd
we
be
just
weird.
don't. Yeah.
And not that I'm a damsel in distress. It's not my fucking skill set. Where are you?
Well, like, you,
Like,
this is
do
your
I
job.
just-
If there's a bear outside the
This is
tent, then
your
you
job.
go out and scare said bear away.
That's
I
right.
don't do that.
With your whatever. I don't know what you
scare
do.
the bear away. You scare the bear
You
away.
scare the bear away.
Okay,
Like,
this
I'm
has
just-
always been your job.
Oh
when,
my
when
God.
we went to Lassen and there was that noise, it sounded like fucking Bigfoot. Okay, like it did. It sounded like stomping, like my mom
And
screaming.
she
There's
was
a
out
bear.
there peeing. Weren't you peeing?
No, I had to pee, and so then I was like, okay, I can go to the bathroom and get eaten by Bigfoot, or I can just sit here all night and have to pee. I did. I ran to the bathroom. I ran.
Wow, look at you.
That's how bad I had to pee. I couldn't.
She's like my bladder one.
I
folks.
couldn't do it.
Bladder
I couldn't
one.
do it. And then I was like, I'll just pee like right outside the tent. But then I'm gonna be sitting there peeing outside the tent, and that's when he's gonna come. You know, I'd rather be like in it because there's like a. Anyways,
The bathroom, I wouldn't. No.
it was far.
No, multiple times I got up and just peed right outside my tent. Like,
You
don't even
did?
care. You can hear me piddle. I don't care. Like, everyone can go fuck themselves. I am not walking to the bathroom
I did.
to be eaten by a bear or Bigfoot. Like, no, thank you.
And I had to like our tents were set up like because we had like a group site, so it was like pretty far from where our tables and all the food is, but like we have like bear lockers. Like we're pretty bear savvy. I know we sound like idiots, but we're not. And so you know, all of our food's put
Oh
away
no,
and
my
stuff.
mom makes sure. My mom is like she's like bear savvy on steroids. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like every
Your toothpaste
single
may not be in your tent with you.
You have scented lip gloss.
Nothing
Put
scented.
that shit in the bear
You
locker.
put that in the bear locker,
You crazy
okay?
fucker.
Yeah.
Do you want to be eaten by a bear?
I snuck in
my kids.
I snuck in some makeup wipes. Don't tell her.
Did she? You're all don't tell her.
Because I was
will
like,
get in
I didn't want to
trouble.
have to like get up in the morning or at night, you know, like I was like taking off my makeup. I wear makeup when I camp, but like at night, you know, like taking it off, and I was like, I'm like in bed already. Like I don't want to be all like going to the, you know.
She would tell
then
Dea that she
and I didn't
couldn't
wanna
bring in
forget
her
them.
scented lotion. Dea's, you know, my 14-year-old, she's always scented. She smells like a fucking big, huge, gigantic store of flowers all the time. And slightly nauseating. Don't tell her. Anyways, I just have a thing with like scents, but she has like her scented lotion and her scented this and her perfume and her this, right? And my mom's like, that all is going into the bear locker. And Dea's like, no, it's my stuff. She's like, put in the bear locker. No one's been eaten by a bear. I'm like, Mom, I don't know if the bear is attracted to flowers. Is he gonna want to eat flowers?
I mean, they say anything scented. It's like that's what they say, but I don't know.
My mom takes anything scented to the next level, though.
Yeah.
She's hysterical. So you most likely, if you're going to camp with my mom ever, you most likely are not going to be eaten by a bear because she's not going to let you have anything in that tent.
Nothing.
Yeah.
She'll go through your tent like a mad woman and be like, "You are in trouble." Guess who has to make breakfast tomorrow? It's you. But
She's
yeah,
like, I'm joking. I'm getting up to make breakfast because I love it.
She loves it. Yeah. So I don't know how we got into a rant about that, but anyways,
We were talking about the hand, foot, and mouth with the kids.
Yeah. Anyways, so the Manuka honey is like super strong antiviral. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about it, but it works really, really well. And so none of our really kids got it as bad except for poor Ronan, who we didn't start on. I don't know why either, because it probably definitely was a virus more than like a bacteria. So like, and why didn't
Most
we just,
things are viruses.
Yeah,
versus
why didn't
bacteria.
I just start? Like I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb. Retrospect, right?
Yes,
It's a bitch.
definitely.
Anyways, so back to animal stuff. So we pretty much, the only time we call a vet out if it's like life or death.
Well, and for anything
Like
with a
broken-
broken limb,
No.
Beyond-
Beyond chickens. Like we don't call a vet for broken like legs.
who
and
calls
it.
a vet for chickens?
A lot of people.
Okay, I don't call a vet for chicken stuff ever. So I'm going to make this chicken live, and I'm going to mend it, or it's going to die. That's just how it's going to go. Like my vet's not.
And I
coming
know
out
that
for a
sounds
chicken.
really harsh.
But no. I take excellent care of our chickens. They are, splint legs. I've had perfectly great success with that, by the way. And I'm talking like over 20 chickens with like splinted little legs.
Not
or
at the
even
same time.
wings. no, not at the same
Not at the
time.
same time.
I'm saying over the
Well,
course
it
of time.
sounded like you're all.
20 of them broken legs. Nope, didn't do it. No, and so
We've had a chicken like cut in half by a
Yeah.
bobcat, like it literally like half of its like, and
Yeah.
wrap that sucker up.
Yeah.
You make sure
he lived.
He lived.
He
He's
had
fine.
he had a hoppy. He was named Hoppy, but he had a hop. Boop, boop.
He had a
But, like,
hoppy.
he had a hoppy. But he lived, and he was a mean son of a bitch. But he fucking lived. My husband was
I
like,
would be pissed off too. Fucking
my husband was
bobcats.
like, I'm feeding you. My husband would hand feed him tomatoes every day and all this other delicious stuff from our fridge. And, no wonder the bird lived. He's like, I will be ripped open by bobcat any day because I'm getting all this delicious food.
I don't know. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. But he did.
Chickens are remarkable, though. I would highly suggest you Google the shit out of lots of different things and get a good feeling for like how to vet your chickens, because chickens are one of the hardiest animals. Like, my God, so hardy.
Yeah. If you
want
want
to,
to,
just help them out a little bit. I mean,
They're
we had a
good.
chicken. I think I spoke of her before. We had a chicken. She got her leg all twisted and caught like a
Yeah.
big, huge dumbass. And I splinted it, thinking I could just splint it. It was broken, and it definitely was 100% broken. But then my husband's like, "That's gonna fall off," and I'm like, "Why do you say that?" He's like, "It's gonna fall off." I'm like, "Her whole leg?"
he was.
And he was right. From her joint, her first joint, her second joint down, she lost that complete leg. Healed right up like some fucking Terminator. And now she walks around I need to get her like a little Stumpy.
Aw, he's so cute.
That's her name is Stumpy. It's very cute. But and she gets along fine. She's one of the barred rocks. She's like, or no, Wyandotte? Whatever. Anyways, nuance.
Well, yeah, we had our rooster Jack, Captain Jack Sparrow. He broke both of his legs, both of them. Well, like a freaking when he was a baby, like a hawk attacked him. Like
Oh,
his
I was
mom.
like, how did the fuck did he break both of his legs?
Both of his legs
Yeah.
got broken by a stupid hawk.
Yeah.
And we splinted him and hope for the best. Throw some holy water on him, and he was fucking fine.
Holy water, holy water. Yeah, no, they're remarkable
They're
animals.
crazy.
And so
And, yeah,
just have
he doesn't even have a
confidence in
limp
yourself.
anymore.
Yeah, which is
'Cause
incredible.
It's crazy. He no limp, like he was fine. So yeah, chickens I think are the easiest. If you want to call a vet out, or if you like are trying to avoid a vet, don't get horses.
Some of the most sensitive animals.
They're one of the
for
biggest,
being huge, right?
But like they're very sensitive, and you're gonna be
So
calling a vet out
sensitive.
all the damn time.
Yeah.
We've had lots of horses in our lives, so like we're speaking from experience, and we're around a lot of horses. So
I don't know. The vaulting people, like, I don't know. I rarely hear them calling a vet out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like check in with them, but they still have to like even like the farrier costs money, and the fucking when they have to get the vet out for their teeth every few months, that costs you know, money and stuff like that. So I don't know, but our goats are pretty hardy too.
Yeah, goats are super hardy.
And again, like any even like laceration or something, it's like you disinfect it just like you would anything.
100%.
And you just kind of like fix them up the best you can. And like you have to think, like a lot of people, they go and they get the stitches or they get stitched up because they don't want like a huge ass scar. Like your goat can have a fucking scar. It's going to be fine. It'll be fucking fine. My goat, her ear got caught on we had like barbed wire. We didn't put it up, but like the people that lived here before us put it up, and we hadn't taken it down yet because we're dumb. And she got her, totally like her ear just like sliced in half. She's fine.
Lives. No, it's animals are incredible, and I think most of the time people they'll rush and call the vet because, oh my gosh, there's blood. Oh my gosh, skin's ripped open. This has to have a vet. And really, honestly, if you just can't if you make sure an infection's not going to start from that, because the actual wound most likely is not going to kill them. It's the secondary infection, right?
Right.
From it getting dirty, nasty, whatever, if you don't take care of it. But if you're out there like once, twice a day, depending on the severity of the wound, treating it and stuff, and, using the antibiotic, whatever the fuck you want to use on it, and then wrapping it up, I mean, your animal's going to be perfectly fine. I can just 100% guarantee
And
it.
a lot of the times you have to like separate them. Like chickens are, nasty
Evil.
ass bitches, and
Yeah.
they'll like if they see blood, they'll be like, "We're gonna peck the shit out of it until you die." So like you have to you have to
No
have
bueno.
that ready to like put a chicken in a separate pen to isolate them. Whether
And we've talked about like a chicken
having an
sick
isolation
pen, like,
pen,
exactly.
yeah. But same with like goats though. If they're really injured and they need time to heal, they probably shouldn't shouldn't be with their friend that's gonna headbutt them away from the food all the time if they have like an injured leg or some shit. Like it's just gonna
Right.
get worse. So
Right.
you have to also use common sense, which can be hard for some people. But like, you know, even like if your goat's limping, I wouldn't and that this is for, and even with our dogs, like if they're limping, like we don't like call a vet right away. Like
No.
we
Wait
wait
a couple days.
because
Because-
sometimes just like people, you know, you
Yep,
jump
they
down
pull
off of something, you
something.
just pull
Exactly.
your whatever,
Exactly.
or you twist something, and then it's fine in a couple days. You call a
Yep.
vet out, and it's however much money. And obviously, you have to use your best.
Best judgment, obviously.
Thank you. Because if you're like, I'm pretty sure they got bit by like a rattlesnake or something like that, like then yes, maybe you should get a vet out right away. But like if it's like you're not really sure, there's nothing like glaring you in the face that's
Yeah.
obviously like super needs immediate attention, then you can wait a couple days. Like it's usually fine.
Yeah, 100%. My dad, our dad, my dad.
He's mine.
Yeah, so our dad is one of those pet owners who he jumps the gun and he wants to call the vet like right now. And the last time he took Rainbow, one of our LGDs, he rushed him to the vet, or makes my mom rush him to the vet, and because the dog, I don't even know what he thought the dog looked like, that he was like, he's dying and he's not eating. I'm like, Dad, it's like fucking 105 out here. It's okay. Sometimes I don't want to eat. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not like a sure tell sign. Now, if he's not eating for like the whole entire day into the next day, okay, we can start to worry a little bit. Let's investigate this further. But I'm like, if it's just one meal, the dog eats fucking all day long, right? So they rush him to the vet. They spend $600 for the vet to tell them he had a stomach ache. And I was like, do you see? And so from then on, my mom has been completely on board with me about like not rushing him to the vet. And like when they think something's wrong with like a cat or one of the dogs, they like call me up. Can you come look at the cat? I want to know if I should take him to the vet. I'm like, I'm going to say just right away no over the phone. But I will come up and look.
My first opinion is no. And I know like it does sound like harsh, I think, to some people.
No, it's not harsh. It's not harsh. It's realistic. The vet,
it is realistic,
like for
especially
example,
having
the
like a farm.
LGD charging $600 for what was his stomach ache. They literally did nothing for him. They put him through all these tests,
Which
and
is
that's
stressful.
Stressful for the dog, right? And stressful for him even to leave the property. By the way, he doesn't leave the property because, well, he's an LGD. It's that we don't take him on walks, and so that in and of itself was stressful. Being at the vet, being around people he doesn't know. He's slightly aggressive towards people he doesn't know, and
Slightly.
yeah, slightly. And it's like the whole day was probably miserable for him. And on top of that, they blew fucking $600 just for the vet to be like, he has a stomach ache, so go
thank you.
home and he can be on
Give him
rice,
some
chicken.
rice and-
I'm just like, you guys are dumbasses. But it was all my dad because he overly worries. He jumps the gun. He's automatically thinking it's the worst case scenario. When you pull back and think, okay, realistically, what am I probably looking at here? Like
You have to be practical.
without my emotions involved. What am I looking at here? Because I
Yes.
know you love your animals. You love your dogs and the cats.
You don't want
and the
anything
goats.
to happen to them. And
I
you're
love my
wor-
animals
yeah.
too, but you
And
have to be realistic.
People, you do that with like your kids. You're gonna jump to the worst case scenario. They
100
come up to you and be like, "My stomach hurts." You'll be like, "Oh my god!" Like especially like first time moms and stuff. Like that's where you go to like the worst, darkest spot in your head for
Because
literally.
we've all read the Google store, the online
because
stories
the internet
of all
is
this
evil.
yeah, yes.
And like
But see, it's
and then
probably
once you
never
Google
going
something,
to be that.
So like you need to take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a beat, especially with your animals. Like it's okay. So we don't call the vet too often, like unless it seems like an emergency. Even when our goats are giving birth and stuff, and it's like a hard birth, like we're the ones that are in there trying to figure it the fuck out.
Very rarely can we not make a good outcome out of like a goat giving birth. Like even if goats are stuck, we've just had obviously multiple years of experience where we can make it work, and we're gonna get these babies out. So the few times I have had, it was the same fucking goat. She's now fixed, little fucking hoochie, and she is a very, 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 very tiny pygmy. She's just really, even for a pygmy, she's very small, very, very cute, but very, very tiny. So I was never planning on like breeding her, of course, because like she's just too small, even to breed to another pygmy. So she gets out of her pen, this is years ago, gets knocked up, by one of our Nubian goats. Oh, good job. Good way to choose them. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And so sure enough, she goes to have the baby, and there's just she can't have it. The baby is literally almost as big as her. It is not coming out. Rush her to the vet, and we didn't make it in time, and the baby ended up dying. We saved the mom. Great. I asked the vet at that point, it's our mobile vet. I'm like, can you fix her? He's like, honestly, I don't see the need. It's a big process. I'd have to go in, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And then like a year later, she does the same fucking thing. Nubian goat again, a Nubian buck. I'm like, oh my God, Periwinkle. We rush her to the vet. He's able to save the baby. And we have that
Which
baby
was crazy because it was like halfway, like because the vet, even though he's a mobile vet, like
he can't always get to you, and sometimes it's easier just to load the goat in the car and go to him. Well, the fucking baby's feet's already out. Very stressful. I know it's not coming out of her vagina at least. So we rush her to the vet. She's obviously in pain and miserable. We get there, and he's very methodical and slow, which obviously is a very, very good way to be. He's not like, doesn't get overly whelmed at all. But like, I was like, can you wash your hands faster, please? There's a baby hanging out of her vagina that I'm pretty sure has been there a little while, longer than it should have. Oh my gosh.
But he like literally just does the C-section on the...
He sanitized,
on the
put
back
this
of the
area
truck.
down, all the sanitization stuff on the back of the truck, opens her up right there, literally pulls her this way so her feet go the opposite way that they should, back into her vagina. Very weird. And pulls the baby out, and it's fucking alive. And we're like, holy fucking shit, how did this baby survive? Well, the umbilical cord was still attached, so it's getting all this oxygen and stuff that it still needed, right? So fantastic. My kids were overjoyed because, of course, they all wanted to be there. And I was like, are you sure you want to come?
The kids are always very like curious.
They're interested. They're curious. And it was an absolutely amazing procedure to do, right, on like the back of a fucking truck. It was hailing, by the way. It's winter. It's hailing. She was born.
It's always like your goats always pick the perfect time to deliver.
She was born
it's either going to be in triple digits or in a thunderstorm.
Exactly. And it was, we're standing in mud. And just hail. We had the vet's wife is getting hot packs to put around the goat because she's shivering because she's laying open, all filleted open. And the vet has water just like dripping off his face. It was miserable. I don't even know how, or just like, it was crazy.
But it all worked out.
I should have taken a video of what I should have taken. Because it was absolutely remarkable.
Yeah. He is a great vet.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And the mom is fine, still alive today. Baby's fine. She's bigger than her mom now today and quite a bitch. And she's fine. She's good.
It all worked out.
Yeah, it did. But so those are the only, like, when my goat needs a C-section, and it's very rare.
See, that's like extreme, right?
It's extreme.
I'm
not going to perform a C-section, obviously. I don't have that knowledge at all, or the equipment, and I would never, ever do that. But when it comes to just normal goat births, or really any kind of birth, like when my dog gave birth, no, like we didn't call a vet. Like, she just had her puppies. Dogs are amazing having puppies, by the way.
And
they just like have them, and you're like, this is it's like a conveyor belt. This is crazy. And you're just like,
they just
keep
having coming.
Them, and you're doing so well at it. You can stop now. We've reached 6.
We're good.
And Cookie's like, no, I shall have 11. I'm like, okay, it's cool.
The goats are kind of, people think like, they're an animal and they should just be able to have their babies on their own, and goats usually struggle a lot. And for various different reasons. So
not always. I think like
I don't know. Like I don't know.
The Nubians were really dumb
half the time.
The Nubians were. I know. And see, we had Nubians that we would just walk out there and their babies are already on the ground, standing up. They've already cleaned them, and we're like, "Oh fuck, you had your baby. Great, good job. Good job, mom. Good job." But then other times they're laying there screaming, the baby's not coming out, and you're
don't you feel like it's half the time
that you have to help? I think it maybe is half the time
that you have to help this mom have her baby, or either she's gonna die or the baby's gonna die.
Yeah.
Or it's something weird, like, we had, the mom had 3, but the 2 babies, the one came out healthy and fine, and she was able to get it out on her own, and then the second one just wasn't coming out. And we're like, okay, something's wrong.
Oh, it's because it was all malformed and had been deceased for a while.
It was already, had not formed all the way. It wasn't, living at all.
And so when you have those situations, that mom goat is most likely not going to be able to get that out on her own, because a lot of that is the baby actually like moving into position,
and there was no way for it to move, and so it was just like a big it's gross,
it's just a mass essentially. Exactly.
It didn't have like a head, like it was weird. Anyways,
Yeah.
but we've come across that, like,
Yeah.
we've had
It
it
happens.
before. Yeah, it happens.
I mean, that's, again, you have to remember that they have multiples because of that. Like, they're going to have sometimes, some are going to be off. Same thing with dogs and cats. Even chickens, right? Sometimes the chicks don't hatch, even though all the rest of the little siblings do, but 2 or 3 don't hatch.
Or they die at a really young age. It's
Exactly,
like
because they just have
failure
things
to thrive,
are off.
they call it. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff we do try to do pretty much everything, unless it's like an emergency and we don't have the capability, the knowledge, or the equipment, like Sherry was saying, to handle it.
Sorry, baby.
That's like the only time or if there's like something that we try to figure out, because there's been plenty of times where something we're like, okay, we think it's this, and you treat it, because you can't talk to your animal, they can't tell you like what's going on, and so you treat it and then it doesn't work, and they're like, okay, I think it's this, and then you treat it again and then it doesn't work, and then we would probably call the vet probably that third time around if something's not like getting better. Like we've had goats that's a good like point. Mastitis, where we're like, okay, we think it's mastitis, and we treat it as such, but then it just doesn't end up getting better, and obviously there's probably something else going on in that goat that's causing the continue, just like a person, if they keep having infections, it's usually it's secondary to something else happening in their body, and so like you just like can't fix it, but you need a vet out to tell you this is what you're looking at, so there's different and even scenarios.
Even your vet is only a human, just like doctors, and they're only guessing. They're giving their best educated guess. That's exactly what they're doing. And so, I mean, I've had our amazing vet, who's I absolutely love, and he's still our vet, but he misdiagnosed our dog and told me that she had allergies, food allergies. So I switched her food up, did all these things. Well, she still had all this shit going wrong, and it ended up being this weird, funky mange thing. And we almost lost her, but we didn't, because I took her then to a different vet and they diagnosed her properly and stuff. But I don't blame him for that. It was just, he's like, it looks like food allergies because of this and this and this and this and this. So it was just his best educated guess, right? He's not thinking mange, because like when you think mange, at least with me, I automatically go to like dogs who are not being like well taken care of, like they don't have a good diet, they are stressed, right? Just stresses of life, and like she's not that dog, obviously, and so like even when I came upon it in my own research, I'm like, I mean, it's not mange, you know what I mean? This couldn't be mange. But then, like, yeah, sure enough, it fucking was. And so, anyways.
And you always get thrown a curveball, especially especially like we were talking about earlier, like whatever's the most likely reasoning behind stuff is usually what it is. But sometimes you get thrown a curveball.
Sometimes it isn't.
And sometimes it's fucking nuts. Sometimes something super weird and out there, and that you never, and you lose animals, and, we've lost things where we're like, oh, they're going to be fine, and, they end up fucking dying or whatever, and it sucks because you do blame yourself and stuff like that.
But for sure.
Even if you had the vet out, it probably would have been the same kind of
the same outcome. Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up too much. You can only do the best with what you have and what you're working with. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good. I feel like
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think. Were we funny enough? I'm always like overly worried about not being funny enough, or like giving too much info.
Sherry's too hot to be like. Sherry's like, I'm hot. I'm not being funny. Oh, when we're giving too much.
Ridiculously hot.
Yeah. I always feel bad when we give like too much info, and you guys are like, wait, like I didn't write any of that down. like.
I mean, it's recorded. They can just listen again.
Yeah, hopefully
and again,
you can just
and
like
again.
learn through osmosis. So yeah, I think that's. Do you have anything else to add? I was trying to think of something else that we do, vet wise, beyond shots. And
it's hard because like, and when I'm asked these kind of questions, it's like, there's a lot, but there's a lot that is just so. It's because it's obvious to me.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it, or I'm not thinking about telling you guys about it, like, because I just do it just so
if you have like a specific question, like that's
I don't
totally
know.
fine. You can have specific questions and
Yes.
ask us. We will answer you.
Yes, exactly. But I feel like there's definitely more that we do that we're just not even saying. I mean, I guess I pretty much covered it, though. I mean, I don't know.
Covered like medications.
Yeah.
We usually give them medications. Any
Yeah.
kind of injuries.
Yep.
Sicknesses. And a lot of, we went over it just briefly, like talking about our kids, but like giving like the Manuka honey and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things like the ACV in the waters that will help you to avoid a lot of things that will happen, sicknesses and stuff like that. Because if you can avoid things, it's like your best bet. So knowing when things strike, like Sherry was saying, like the fleas in the summer, if you can get ahead of it before that hits, that's your best bet. Just like mites in the springtime for most animals, right? Like your goats. If you have any goat, like we had one, we don't usually have a mite problem, but we had one that we got and she was kind of like underweight. We're trying to put weight on her, but she's still like, we're milking her. So that's like a lot on her body. And so she got mites pretty badly, which like, it's fine. You treat it, you have to throw the milk away. It's kind of fucking annoying, but it is what it is. But like, if I was like thinking to myself, like, I should have known that she would be the one to get mites. I should have like, tried to up her immune system with either through like their food, which is like the best way, more apple cider vinegar in their water, just trying to like boost their immunities, just like you would anything else.
So I think we're huge on preemptively doing things. And that's with ourselves, our kids, and then because of that, we do that with our animals too. So like even with our milking processes, I know a lot of people will just kind of go out and milk their goats, and they really don't think about it. So I 100% always use betadine water mixture before I milk, and then chlorhexidine after I've milked. I know it sounds like overkill, but my goats have never had mastitis. We've had one case of mastitis years and years and years and years ago, and it was when we first got into goats, and she had one of those like fake pregnancy things, and she got mastitis, and we didn't even know she had mastitis because she wasn't even in milk. So anyways, very difficult situation, and she ended up being fine. But like, for example, the reason I use the chlorhexidine and betadine is to ward off things like mastitis and any other udder infections.
Which it can be a lot, because you'll transfer
it can be huge
from your hands
to the next goat.
You go to your, you're feeding your animals,
exactly.
and you go milk. And
exactly.
From one goat to another. I don't use the betadine. I just I chlorhexidine my hands. Like unless I just came from the house and just washed my hands, I'll like spray my hands and wash them.
Yeah.
And then I'll chlorhexidine afterwards. And then the moment it's like, even when I ran out of chlorhexidine and I just hadn't gotten it for like a couple weeks, and I was like, well, just make sure we wash our hands. But of course, like, my son milks and stuff like that, and I'm not always like, hey, did you wash your hands? One of our goats got, I don't even know what she had, but it was like, I don't know if it was like a staph. I know that sounds awful, but like a staph or something.
Well, staph is very, very, very easy to get.
Yeah, for the goats.
Awful. It's easy to pick up. Yeah.
But once I, treated her, I forgot what I used. It was some.
I'm vaguely remembering what you used. What did you use?
It was
I think we did. You did just use the chlorhexidine.
No, I used something because I was also thinking it might be like some kind of fungal infection. I used oil of oregano.
Oh yeah.
Diluted, obviously. Is that obvious? And then
probably not. Yeah. But I think most of the time, so with us, to ward off shit with our animals, we just preemptively do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so that just goes to show you, though, the moment I stopped, like something happens. And like I could have just avoided it to begin with.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like, you're like, okay, just fucking get the chlorhexidine. Like,
exactly. And so those.
And you can use, if you don't want to use chlorhexidine, because I know it's like chemically, if you want to use something else like that's natural and stuff like that, that can, kill stuff on your hands, you go for it. You should do it.
So like, once I do start to make colloidal silver, that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah, but it's just so expensive. You don't want to be
It's so expensive to buy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking not using it on my goats.
And that's the other thing too. Like even all the essential oils and stuff, like it's pricey.
Well, it's pricey, and so and all that has to play into, like, you're not gonna put yourself through bankruptcy or put so much stress on yourself financially where you're buying this ridiculously overpriced shit just to do this with your animals, just so you can be like, oh, it's natural. Like, like it's a balance, and like I use the betadine and the chlorhexidine, and I don't have. I mean, that's just always what I've used, and so I probably will never veer away from that until I do start making my own colloidal silver. There's not a lot else I would trust is the other thing. Not a lot else that's natural that I would trust that I think would do a good enough job to kill all the bacteria so that my milk is healthy and my goats are also healthy. So anyways, yeah, there's a lot, but I think like I said, preemptively, if you do all the shit you need to do, it's going to be a rare time your animals are going to be like super ill.
Which saves you money.
So
even though you might
put
spend
the work
some
in
money
beforehand.
Yeah, even though you might spend some money on like whatever, like I was talking about, like the different essential oils and stuff, it still saves you money in the long run. So
Yeah,
Worth it.
definitely. Well, worth it. Yes.
But beyond that, I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna
if
go
you guys
stand
have-
in front of the air conditioning unit for
we
a
are.
little bit, and then
If you guys have any questions, reach out to us. We love hearing from all of you guys.
yes,
And
thank you, Joy. That was a
Yeah,
good,
Joy, that was a
good,
great episode topic idea, and we appreciate you reaching out to us. We love to hear from all of you. It's so great, and we know that we're really actually doing this for people and not just my phone that we're staring into right now. So, yeah, makes it real. And
Hopefully,
then-
there's an actual video this time. On the other side of
yes,
that would be cool too.
Oh, your husband walked in a second ago. You should have had him check.
I know.
Not that it would have mattered.
No.
We would have just been sparring.
I
into
know, we
microphones.
would've been like,
God
"Oh, fuck it."
damn it. So you can get a hold of us through archonhomesteading@gmail.com. Reach out to us through Facebook or Instagram, and keep an ear out for our new podcast coming out, Porch Talk. We already have like 3 episodes recorded because we're fucking badasses like that.
God, I feel amazing.
So amazing. So we're still doing all the technical behind the scenes part of that whole thing, but that is coming out very soon. So very exciting.
soon.
And yeah. Oh, and then leave reviews if you haven't already. That helps us out a ton.
Yep.
We love reading them, and we'll have to next time. I'm really gonna try hard
We're
to
totally
remember
gonna
to
do
read
it.
the reviews.
Totally gonna happen. Totally gonna happen. Give you guys all a shout out.
Yes.
Other than that, thank you guys all so much for
Yes.
stopping by and listening, and we will talk to you all next time.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.